Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 tournament game between Yo and Hera, and they are playing on Holy City. So a very unique map here. It is a nomad start, and you do start with a monastery in the middle and lots of access to relics all over the place in this little city. So let's get right into the players right now. We do have Hera on the southwest side of the map playing as the Malians in blue, and his enemy to the northeast is Yo playing as the Berbers. So you do start with a priest with a relic, or I guess just a priest. You could pick up or drop the relic, and you do start with an ox cart to do some sort of scouting around and finding of resources. There are quite a few sheep to be found. There are berry bushes and deer spread out throughout the map, and of course wood lines as well. So a big jump ahead if you are able to hit the castle age first and collect up these extra relics in the middle of the map. So we will be looking to see who is going for a fast castle age and collecting up those relics and getting that little bit of a bonus, as it is more and more important as the game goes on. Another thing that we could always see is a landing and trying to take over the middle of the map. So both players at this point in time are docked. They are going to collect up fish as much as possible, get that little bit of a head start. This is going to play out quite a bit like a typical nomad game, in the sense that you're going to want to get those fish out to get that economy going as soon as possible. And big change there. What happened? Well, Hera picked off Yo's priest, so that is a big impact, and that will cause some damage later. Yo tried to get a conversion of a fishing ship, and Hera able to quickly attack with those villagers, and suddenly Yo is definitely behind, as we do see Hera already has the villager lead, and now just that little bit of extra scouting that will be available for him, since there's no priest for Yo. And the interesting thing about this map, of course, being the fact that this town in the middle will be able to get quite a few relics and really set you apart to get further and further ahead. So basically the first person to get up to the next stage is also given just that extra little bit of an advantage, in the sense that the longer they're up in that next stage, the more of an advantage of gold income they will be seeing, as the ox cart is still doing some research, scouting around, and the mining camp on this one lone gold is going to be placed by Yo. Of course, gold is going to be very tight for both players right now, as there is not much gold on the map. The point of this game mode is to collect up those relics and to gain that advantage as soon as possible. I will speed up as both players are going up to the next age at this point in time. There is a slight advantage when it comes to Yo's uptime, but Hera very close behind, and he will be looking to go for some sort of a fast castle. Probably will drop a market and sell to get that gold. And I don't see a market as of yet for Mr. Yo, so he will be going for a slightly different technique than what Hera is doing, as Hera is on his way up to castle age, but Mr. Yo already attacking with those galleys out. So Hera gonna have to run around with this priest in the transport ship, but he will be able to get in on this side of the map. And the wall off has already started for Yo, as he wants to make sure to get control over as much territory as is possible at this point in time. When taking a look at Hera's scouting, he doesn't quite see that gate as being available there, so just a bit of bad luck there. He might end up going all the way over to the other side, which could be a little bit of a negative for him. And of course, Hera does have control of this gate. He is now in the next age. There is a scout coming out right off the bat. And no monks as of yet out of that main monastery in the front. But we do see once again the enemy of Yo has blocked off and taken control over that gate. So there's a monk coming out, and this monk will just start gathering up the relics as soon as possible. But the difficulty, of course, being Hera does not have any way to gain water control. So the monk is out. It will be collecting up those relics as soon as possible, and we are seeing a few upgrades for the wood chopping and the bow saw upgrade. But Mr. Yo's on his way up as well. Yo with a 9 villager lead. Of course, some of those villagers counting as these fishing ships. Quite a few fishing ships he's got out here. That's giving him a huge advantage, but it won't last forever. That food income will, of course, die off. So Hera looking to get a conversion of a galley, but unable to do so. Instead, he's just going to continue to collect up relics. So already 2, that's his 3rd now, so he will be starting to flow income fairly quickly. But we'll only be able to store 2 more relics in this area. He does have a fire ship coming out. He does have a transport ship coming out. And he will be looking to get scouts onto the other side of the map so that he can maintain control as much as possible. As these monks have already filled up the monastery, but now are going over and across to collect up and round up as many of these relics as possible. And in the meantime, nothing quite yet out of the stable apart from those 2 scouts, and we do have 2 villagers as well. And so I would like to see, yes, there we go. Hera is moving out across. Yo, just being that much slower does mean he has a strong economy right now, but he's not able to collect up the resources that he needs to get in. The gate will be going down very quickly to the fire and the scouts, and so right off the bat, Hera will be able to get in and will be able to continue to collect. Probably see another monastery go up so that he can continue to collect these relics as soon as possible. But monks are already on the way out for Mr. Yo. It is imperative that these scouts for Hera start to attack the monks before these relics are collected, as there are engagements on the water between the fire ships and now war galleys. But is it enough? And there we go. That monk will go down to those scouts if they can spot. They have spotted as of now. That monk will go down. And now Yo is behind, unable to collect up relics because there are scouts right outside the monastery. And the advantage so far goes to Hera as he puts up his 2nd town center. Yo already on 2 town centers. So Yo, again, as I said before, stronger economy now, but the longer that this game lasts, the more important that these relics are that are collected in the middle. More and more relics coming in for Hera, but Yo with the score lead, so that is going to be something that Hera is thinking about longer and longer and longer, as he can no longer collect this wood line with all of those war galleys able to engage against his villagers. These docks will start to fall, but the longer Hera holds, the better off he is. And Hera, of course, building up as many fire ships as he can. He will be ejecting them, and that is enough to fight back this war galley force, as the fire ships will be taking out war galleys once they get in close. Of course, demolition ships already out in preparation for Yo, and that is a pretty good hit, all things considered. Very weak fire ships in there. Monks still collecting resources in the sense of relics up top, and as you can see, Hera's gold count is climbing like crazy. And of course, there are some relics in the map for Yo, but he does not have the gold income right now, as he only has 3 villagers on gold. So these warships are very, very strong right now, but the idea of him maintaining and continuing to produce them is very, very difficult. A watchtower will be going up in defense on this water for Hera, as he needs to keep his economy safe. He needs to continue to build towers, even get up to a castle eventually, so that he can protect his economy and ensure that this stone is protected, this gold is protected, and this town center is protected. And this one tower will be enough to probably thwart off this entire army for now, as we see more houses going up in the main town in the middle, and another monastery to continue to collect up resources. The monastery for Mr. Yo is completely useless at this point in time. And the war galleys, they are going to engage underneath the tower. And just this small amount of war galleys will do quite a bit of damage, but at what cost? It is very difficult at this point in time for Yo to be continuing to build military on water. The tower will be repaired by these villagers, and it is well worth it for Hera to be losing a couple of villagers to get rid of these warships. He knows he has the advantage. He knows he has the gold income to maintain his advantage as much as possible. But Yo, with a massive villager lead, a lot of that, as mentioned before, is fishing ships, but this one watchtower doing so much damage to the army of Yo. All of a sudden, we see the army of Yo dropping from down to 8, even less now, as each one of them is weak, picked off in certain ways, and Hera, big mistake there, leaving his villagers out to die a little bit longer. And now Yo has a big villager lead. I still give the advantage to Hera, just because of the relics. And so a castle is up for the Malian player already. Hera does have that castle. These ships cannot even think of engaging against the castle. But that castle is a little bit away from the shoreline, and it will not protect all of this area to the east. Now this monastery is slowly still going down, bit by bit by bit. But Yo, what can he do? Well, he can spam trash units. He is making a monastery of his own, and he's going to try to engage as well as possible as he can. And this is now at a point where it could swing either way. However, the advantage is still in Hera's favor, as he's dropping another watchtower very close to where he was before, just out of the line of sight of the enemy, which the watchtower will go up and it will protect this economy just that much more. Quite a bit of damage was felt by Yo with that initial attack against that one watchtower. Now another watchtower coming up. Bodkin arrow is in for Hera, so he will have that bit of an advantage now. Extra attack, extra range. But Yo is on his way to the next age. He's got enough for a castle and more. Probably will be seeing a castle drop. Would love to see one right in the face of Hera over here. And where is the castle going? Castle's going on this side to protect against the castle of Hera. And he does have enough villagers. That castle will go up, as Hera does not have the resources at this point in time to be producing military to take out that castle. We see stables coming up for Hera, trying to engage as much as possible, but he does have control of the middle. Monasteries are safe for now, and he is starting to try to convert these towers. Little by little, he will try to gain more and more of an advantage on the water. But Yo just so far ahead, just so dominant on the water, it will take quite a while for Hera to gain any sort of momentum. And so Hera sees the enemy is in the next age. He knows it is getting dire. He knows this castle is going to start producing trebuchets, and Hera knows that the only response that he can have is strong castle age aggression until he gets up to the next age. This castle will go up eventually, as 2 knights are already out for Hera, but he needs more at this point in time. He needs more than these 2 knights. He needs for conversions of these villagers. He needs something to fight back this army. He sees the castle here. He is sending the knights forward. He is sending the scouts forward as well. And the monks are out and will try to engage as much as possible. But these spearmen are going to be quite a force for Hera to engage against. Even with knights, it's difficult to engage against that many spearmen. 1 villager is converted, and these spearmen will go down, but a camel and 2 camels already out. So suddenly, Hera is in a very bad position, as there are 2 trebuchets taking out his castle at home. There is a castle up on the main island that will be taking out his monasteries, but he still has income. He still has gold income. And so more stables coming up for Yo. He does have 6 villagers on gold right now. And now Hera has made it up to the next age. We will be seeing trebuchets out on the island, but there's nothing he can do to fight at home. He is completely getting overrun right now. He is trying to research as much as possible to get a bit of an advantage, but by choosing to research the next upgrades rather than make trebuchets, he now has a trebuchet taking down his castle in the center. So a castle going down at home, the castle being trebbed down out in the center of the map. He is in a awkward position, and he is just waiting for the Cavalier upgrade to come in. No, he's going to go out. He knows he doesn't have time. He needs to take this trebuchet out as soon as possible. The trebuchet does go down, and he decides to run right away with those knights. Lucky for him, he doesn't lose too much HP. He doesn't lose too much damage. He is able to take out a couple of villagers, and at home he is just wide open. There's nothing really that's protecting him, and there are light cavalry coming out from Mr. Yo. No military to speak of at home, though there is a stable going up right now. Just a couple of light cav are going to cause complete havoc for him, as the Cavalier have come out. Cavalier is now in, and he's wanting to maintain this position and try to keep his advantage where he can. And that Cavalier just about did the block, but unable to do so at this point in time. Camel will go down, and lots of Cavalier coming out. This 131 HP gate will fall very quickly, and the trebuchet goes down. Knights will be able to, or Cavalier will be able to take out the camels. The scout will go down before any real damage can be done. But what do you do if you are Hera? You are losing your economy. And right now, Hera is 19 villagers behind. He has the gold income to maintain production of these Cavaliers, but there are light cav all over the place in his base. Smart of Yo to just be running in, attacking here, there, everywhere, as a trebuchet is finally out for Hera, and so he will have to maintain protection of this trebuchet, maintain protection of these Cavaliers, because if they start going down, he is in trouble. This castle, for the time being, has been denied, but the Cavaliers able to take out the ships, able to take out the scouts, and so this castle could be built back up, but no villagers working on it as of now. More villagers will be sent forward surely to attack that, and the water control is now becoming a fight. There is no army on the water for Yo right now, but we do see a lot of war galleys coming forward. They will fall to this castle. Gonna need to run away there. as this castle in the middle is being trebbed down. It will fall because there are no villagers to repair it at this point for Yo. So Yo is losing in the middle, but he is winning now because he has camels. Camels, of course, being an automatic response to the Malian Cavaliers. More villagers being thrown forward. This castle needs to go up, and it does. Castle goes up, it makes it up, but look at all these camels that are going to go. Okay, the castle's up, we'll run right past it. But Hera, of course, being who Hera is, will wall in these camels, and this entire army is going to fall to the fire from the castle and the war galleys on the side. This is a fantastic play by Hera. He might have just turned around his chances right there, and now he is definitely the favorite to be winning. And of course, camels cannot be consistently made without the relics, and there are not too many relics left. So once Hera has full control of this center area, he will be able to branch out. This gold completely out at this point in time. Now only 6 gold miners left for Yo. Of course, the good thing about Hera is he doesn't need to have anyone mining gold at this point in time. He can just rely on the income from the relics. Look how quickly the income is coming in. If I just switch over to his position, constant income right now for Hera. And still engagements on this main island. Really going to need to see Hera take out all control that Yo has in the middle. And these warships will be taken out by the castle if they get any closer in, but they are able to get quite a bit of damage done on the land army in the middle. As conscription is coming in for Hera, does not have any trebuchets out yet, and Yo don't like the idea of running underneath this castle. That might have been just some automatic pathing, probably an aggressive stance at this point in time, but the camels will go down. Camels do very well, of course, against warships, but underneath castle fire, not much that can be done. Hera having to buy more stone now to continue to attack, and Yo deciding to attack on the other side, which is also wide open for Hera. This engagement, of course, switching over to heavy camels against heavy camels, so the camels will be able to engage a little bit better than the Cavaliers could, but underneath castle fire it just depends on where the units start to line up. As we see light cav coming in and a complete fleeing of the farms on the east side of Hera's base. This game could still go either way as the castle is down, and now Hera needs to think about what he is doing next. Taking out military buildings. I'd love to see some of these Cavalier transported into the economy of Yo, as Hera is in a very bad position economically. He does not have any way to engage against the raids coming in on either side, and now the camels will fight in the middle, but the number advantage has to go to Yo for now. Bit of weird pathing for that group of camels, so Yo will run back, but this one light cavalry has killed so many villagers just in the south side of the farming economy, and the camels up over to the other side, and they will come back and take out that light cav. But look at the damage that's already been done. Hera is in a tiny portion of the map. Sure, he has control in the middle and he has the relics, but without food, without wood, he can't maintain an army, and so he needs to continue to keep a strong base at home. Even with that gold income, he needs to keep maintaining his strength. Yo, of course, 3 villagers still on gold, but he does have a ton on wood and food. And now, switching over to pikemen for Yo, he will be able to mass up pikemen, and that will be able to take out all of the camels and even Cavalier should Hera move back to that. And the army of camels is massive. Obviously, very gold heavy army. And with that constant gold income, that is going to help out a bit, but he needs to mix in something to take out these little pikemen, because that will just cause more and more issues as hussars are going to start streaming across the map. Need to keep this massive camel riders alive, and Hera needs to take out the armies of Yo. So this trebuchet will fall very quickly to camel riders. Of course, camel riders having such strong attack against all of these units, but stables. Now we see the advantage that is coming in from the gold income. Hera still keeping his army on this side of the map, but unable to do too much damage and engage really all that much on the eastern side. He does have this group of camels though, and this group of camels can really overwhelm everything that Yo has. The castle is being attacked by them, which is not necessarily a great move, but he's got the resources to spare at this point in time. And Yo does not. He does have 8 on gold actually, Yo. Not sure where he is collecting it at this point in time. Ah, there we have. Almost out of gold on that one little tile, and then he will have no answer at all to the gold. So even siege will be difficult for him to buy, and he will have to pay his way to get to it. Speaking of siege, definitely need to see some siege coming out for Hera, as he needs to take out this castle if he wants to maintain his aggression. Instead, he's deciding to run right underneath the castle and right to Mr. Yo's base. He is now able to hold off for the time being on this eastern side. The spearmen or pikemen are able to do quite a bit of damage, but with the constant stream of cavalier and light cav coming from Yo, he will be protected for now. As we see camels coming across to the north side of the map, this is more wide open area, and Yo will start to lose villagers just the same as Hera is to the south. All of these cavalier now will have to be transported across. Hera will have to move them back and forth, but doing quite a bit of damage on the north side. This could swing either way, but the advantage still has to be to Hera, as he does have more military and access to gold. Town centers will be helping out quite a bit, and he is able to take out town centers in the enemy base. That's the thing about camels, they can take out town centers so easily, especially when there's only a few villagers inside of them, and more villagers will start to fall for Yo. Can Yo hold off long enough? I'm not sure if he can, because his economy will be completely decimated as Yo drops almost in line with the number of villagers as Hera. They are only 2 apart at this point in time, dropping left, right, and center, and they are now even, and Hera has the villager count advantage for the first time in the game since the feudal age. So sure, there is raiding on both sides of Hera's base, but Yo's base at this point in time is completely non-existent. Camels even choosing to fight underneath tower fire, underneath town center fire, able to take out anything they wish. As Cavalier are coming in on the other side, the Cavalier and Light Cav have held off the pikemen to the east, and the Light Cavalry are holding off the pikemen and the Hussars in the west of Hera's base, and this seems like this is it. Pikemen are queued up for Yo, but this many pikemen will not be enough to fight back this highly mobile force from Hera that is running all around the map. We now see a 30 villager lead for Hera, and this is it. The advantage of having that gold income this entire game is just massive. Only pikemen able to be produced by the Berber player. Never wanted seeing that happen this late in the game, especially when the enemy has access to a constant stream of gold. Look at the economy right now for Yo. It is completely empty. Villagers having to run from farm to farm. Almost twice the amount of villagers right now for Hera compared to Yo. 5 times now the amount of military. And even when we look at the villagers, they're not collecting, they are idle. 10 villagers out of the 67, and that is it. Mr. Yo does call the GG. Just goes to show on a map like this how important it is to play to the strengths of the map.